Oh, this was good. So if the vast majority of men honestly, this is too good. So if the vast majority of men honestly assess their situationship, please God, stop using Zoomer speak. Stop using that term. Situationship. No, you're fucking other people. Can we just like say you're like spinning plates? Can you just say you're dating non-exclusive? This is a situationship. No, you're fucking multiple guys. Like, cut the shit. Paul. Not low Paul. Maybe you just picked it up. You don't know. They are second best at best. Situationships? Okay. You're only the best she could land, but convinces you she desires you until, or she's the best you could land. Yes and no. Now, let me explain to you why that is. The vast majority of cases of situationships, right? Yeah, you might be right. However, every once in a while, you'll see the story of Eva Mendes and Ryan Gosling. Okay. Now, Eva Mendes I think she was in her 40s when this happened, but she was very vocal about how she never wanted to have children ever. Right. She just simply wasn't about it. I don't have any maternal instincts. Fuck that. Fuck them kids. Right. Then she met Ryan Gosling and she was head over heels for Ryan Gosling. Good looking guy, A-list actor. I guess maybe still is. And Eva Mendes, good looking girl, she's still, that side of 40, but okay. She still holds her own. Maybe not as good as Margot Robbie, but who, by the way, does not have kids. I have to amend that mistake, that error that I made. The kids in that picture were actually her husband's kids from a previous marriage. So technically she's mom, but she's like hot stepmom, Cece's mom, Stacy's mom. But no, here's the thing is like, if you look at the Eva Mendes and Ryan Gosling, the first thing she says is, I want to have kids. I didn't know I wanted to have kids until I met Ryan, and I want to have his kids. I want to have his babies. That's validational. That's genuine desire. And you could say it's motivated by, her necessity. Maybe it is, but like, because she's a little bit older now, but now suddenly she goes from, I never fuck them kids. Like, I never want kids to I want his babies. And that's the biggest difference. If you ever hear a woman tell you this, gentlemen, if you're in a relationship with a woman or you're in a marriage with a woman and she's like, my biological clock is ticking. It's time for me to have kids. I need to have kids. I want to have kids. Don't do it. Eject. Get out. She said the wrong thing. That's not she wants to say, I want your kids. I want your babies. I want your DNA. That's why when Jason got off Lena, that's why it was so shocking, because that's the kind of guy who she wants to have. That's the Ryan. Jason Love is the Ryan Gosling for Lena the Plug, right? And she was just all about it, and as good as it gets, man. And by the way, that's not a recent thing. This is an old thing. How do I know? Well, go watch the movie It's a Wonderful Life. And when George Bailey and Mary finally get married, and Mary gets pregnant for the first time, they have this one scene, and he comes home kind of all depressed and like worked over because he can't get out of, Bedford Falls or wherever the hell it is. And she said something to the fact that she just mentions this to let him know that she's pregnant, right? She says, well, he's all, why ever marry a guy like me? And she goes, because I want my baby to look like you. Like that. And then of course that's oh, we're having a kid, that cheers him up like immediately. This happens in like, when was that shot? Like the late 40s, early 50s, I think. It's black and white, right? Juries. Jimmy Stewart. And I forget the girl's name who played Mary. But there's that one scene. It stuck with me too. That's a very red pill movie, by the way. If you ever watch, I know it's a Christmas thing and it takes like 2.5 hours to watch, but you look for it's much more red pill and much more old school than you would think. Especially Violet. Was it Violet? I think that she's the one who's the sort of town floozy a little bit, but even that sort of teaches you some red pill lessons. Like, this is how we used to do things, and this is how we are right now. But that scene kind of stuck with me when she says, because I want my babies to look like you. That's, I want your babies. That's not, it's time to have babies. That's, I want your babies. I want my babies to look like you. Sexy Sons theory, right? Hypotheses. I want my babies to look like you. Ryan Gosling, Eva Mendes wants to have your baby. That's what you're looking for, gentlemen. You want to talk red flags, vetting for your what? That's a good, strong vet right there. I want your kids. Also, it's one of the, like when she doesn't want your kids, when she's still pining for that alpha male, that's when you got to figure out, like, if she don't never let your wife name your male child, especially, or if she does, if she insists on naming the baby that you have with her, and it turns out later that that's the name of an old boyfriend she had in college, get out. That's when get out. Jeez, that's double get out. That's transactional sex. You have a transactional relationship. She has a baby with you, and she names it Chad. She names it Tyrone. She names it Jason. Apparently, she names the baby Jason. If she names a baby Jason, yeah, but Jason's probably the guy who rearranged her guts. Like that's still got that. She's an alpha widow. She's still pining after that guy to the point where she's going to name that. And by the way, I am not overplaying this. This happens all the time. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about. Probably know one of your girlfriends who named her male child, her son, after an old boyfriend because she's like, he was the best I can do. And I want to be reminded of his name every time I see my son. You want to know, there is no greater reinforcement for Sexy Sons theory than women naming their sons from another guy after an old boyfriend they fucked in college. That right there, Sexy Son. I want to see this man in myself and my male heir, I'm sending off this boy into perpetuity. I hope I can turn him into what I couldn't lock down in college. So I'm going to name him David. I'm going to name him Jason. I'm going to name him whatever that guy's name was, Chad. That's fucked up. That is absolutely fucked up. But it is what it is. I see it happens often. And you know what's funny is you probably didn't even know about it. It's probably more prevalent than we think, but because we have the internet and we're more aware of this stuff and we have like social media and we hear the stories all the time, it makes me wonder how often that happened before all this. Wow.